Welcome into week 14 of this NFL regular season. It's the 7th of December. I'm Bobby Trosset. As always, great to be with you guys. If you could on the way in, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership on this game day, and go ahead and vote in the poll. Make sure your vote is casted. 20-plus votes and counting. Will the Ravens play mistake-free? I'm talking about from a turnover perspective, meaning no turnovers. Will they play mistake-free football today against Pittsburgh? You heard maybe my prediction on the vault. I do not believe they'll play mistake-free, but that's not going to keep me from picking them to win. I do have the Ravens today 24-18 in a game that both teams got to desperately have. Playoff leverage is significant today with a win. We'll get into all that more coming up, and I'll tell you why I think the Ravens win this game 24-18 as the show continues. This episode is brought to you by my friends at Preston Automotive Group. Inactives just dropped. Mark Andrews' contractual details of his new extension dropped over the weekend, and they are very favorable from a team standpoint. We'll get into all that more coming up, including everything that's going into Ravens-Steelers, the AFC North rivalry, one of the best football rivalries, perhaps in sport, of all time. Terrell Suggs set the table earlier this week on his media tour that he's been on for what feels like months, which included the vault back in September.
Can't remember who the fullback was. They was beating it. It was one of those years they beat the out of us in the season.
Yeah.
And Bart Scott said, "Bring your ass out." He called out the fullback. And Mike Tomlin looking like, who he talking to? And he was like, I'm talking to him. Bring his fat ass out here.
Oh, my.
Mike Tomlin was like, get your ass in there.
Yeah.
He said, you want me? He crumped. Man, when I tell you I've never heard a car crash so hard. Oh, you heard that? They smack each other. That my concussion protocol. I ain't seen that dude. Man, Bart put his ass. I told you to get his ass out of here. Mike Tomlin, you know when a player down, coach got to come out, see what's wrong with him. Yeah. I know Mike Tomlin was like, I've never seen like a defensive player call their shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna knock you out. And then actually on the next play, on the ensuing play, knocks the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, I'm part of the best rivalry in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, we lost that game, story. But that gave us some pride. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the Ravens standard is a standard. What you're not going to do is run this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and if that doesn't get you fired up for Ravens Steelers, I don't know what will. Both teams are 6-6. Both teams need it. Analytics-wise, percentage-wise, chance-wise, mathematics-wise, so on and so forth, in order to put themselves in pole position to claim the AFC North. That is, given the AFC playoff picture, the most clear path, the clearest path, if you will, to the postseason. And that's obviously where the Ravens want to be. You heard Sis, the best rivalry in football. It's one that Marlon Humphrey, the longest tenured defensive Raven, has been part of since he was drafted years ago. I want to say 2017 off the top of my head. And this week, he called it a must-win going into Sunday at the bank.
Man, how you play will speak way louder than your words. And I think if you can't get up for this one, every game you play in the NFL is very meaningful. But if you can't get up for this one, I think that shows something about your character. I think that shows something about your will. And honestly, I think that just shows if you are a Raven or you're not a Raven. I think how we come out this game, how we prepare this week, will kind of do echoes not only for this game, but for the rest of the season, because we're basically in playoff football right now. So it's kind of, it is, they say there's no game, a must-win game. This is definitely a must-win game. We have not played great complementary football really all year, and it's time. We worked really hard to get to where we are. Yeah, do we like our record? No, but do we have everything in front of us? Yes. So I think, like I said, man, it's time to show it. We've talked all throughout the years. I made bad plays. Everyone's made bad plays. Everyone made some good plays. But now it's time. Come together. Have your brother's back. Make sure your brother knows what he's doing, so we can go out here, be on the same page, execute. Because I think we're too good of a team on paper. I know that's been said and everything, but now it's time to be a good team on Sunday, Monday, whatever day we're playing at 1 o'clock.
Hour and 15 minutes out from 1 o'clock there, Marlon Humphrey, one of the team leaders, and of course, somebody who has been at the forefront over his tenure in Baltimore as the poster boy, as Mike Tomlin referred to him as this week leading up to today, the poster boy for their turnover culture. That's exactly what Mike Tomlin said when he complimented not only Marlon Humphrey, but another member of this Ravens defense.
Guy obviously worth mentioning is Marlon Humphreys, man. He plays outside when Kyle Hamilton plays nickel. When Kyle Hamilton moves to dime linebacker, he plays inside. He's a very versatile guy, man. He's the poster boy for their turnover culture. I think he's got 17 career forced fumbles and counting now. And so ball security is going to be a major component of it. We got to be really fundamentally sound there. Again, he leads that charge. But again, wouldn't be remiss if I didn't mention Malachi Starks, man, their first rounder. He's a center fielder, man, and is doing a really good job patrolling that area of the field. And particularly of late, as I mentioned, with that acquisition, and they're able to solidify some divisional labor. He's been a mainstay in the middle of the field for him and doing a nice job of solidifying that space.
Always a wordsmith in his press conference settings. I listened to every single one of them as part of my preparation week in and week out. And look, when it comes to Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, the two longest tenured head coaches respectively in the NFL, dating all the way back to 2007, perhaps those seats are getting warmer and warmer as the years go on and on. We'll get to a note on them in just a bit. The 2000 Super Bowl winning Ravens, those that are still with us. Of course, they lost Tony Siragusa tragically several summers ago. He will be there in spirit. And I actually saw his daughter, Sammy Siragusa, is there on his behalf, which is a really special part of a Baltimore day. And obviously the Siragusa family, beloved in and around Baltimore. But those that could make it, whether in spirit or in person, are there from the 2000 team. That includes head coach Brian Billick. You know that the Ravens are pulling out all the stops. It's not a coincidence that they picked Steelers Week to celebrate that title. Let's be honest. And here we go. A historic one at that when it comes to the quarterback meetings. And they won't meet directly, obviously, but indirectly today, squaring off against each other's defenses will be the great Aaron Rodgers and the great Lamar Jackson. It's their first time meeting. It's their first time meeting head-to-head in the regular season. And, of course, the two own the most combined NFL MVPs with 6 total by quarterbacks entering their first meeting of all time. Aaron, of course, has 4. Lamar should have 3 by now through 8 years. But we know that he has 2 after being robbed of last year's. Speaking to another matchup, which will be indirect, is these head coaches. They are the 2 most tenured league-wide, as I mentioned. They are squaring off for the 39th time. It's the second most in NFL history between coaches and trailing only former Bears coach George Halas and former Packers coach Curly Lambeau, who squared off 49 times. I don't know if it's going to get to that point. What I do know is this. This is the best rivalry in sports. This is one of the best rivalries in the world. Yes, it's lacked a punch, has not packed the punch that it once did in the early mid-2000s, but it still means something. And for the 59th regular season time, these two will match up. It's historic. It means everything in the here and now as far as the AFC North and postseason is concerned. And of the last 38 meetings, 28 have been decided by one score. Of those 28, 19 were by 3 or fewer points. I'm thinking it's going to be right around that spread. I think it's 24-18. Let me know what you think right now in the live chat. If you haven't already done so, you can also go to the poll and vote. Coming up on 100 votes so far, will the Ravens play mistake-free, meaning no turnovers, today against the Steelers? I'm not saying they have to win. It certainly would help, particularly given the issue that they had 10 days ago, Thanksgiving night, against the Cincinnati Bengals, coughing up the football 5 different times. Coming up on inactives in just a bit. We'll also get to the guest lines. If you'd like to share a thought, share your prediction, share anything, please click on the link that I have included as a pinned comment right now in the live chat. We talked about this week. It merits and warrants repeat. Ravens, Steelers, there's not a game. There's not a game this weekend. There's not a game to date so far through 13 weeks and counting that has more playoff leverage than today from an analytical standpoint. Aaron Schatz, the simulation, take a look. With a Ravens win, their postseason chances skyrocket to 70%. Pittsburgh's would plummet to 23. If the Steelers pull off the upset on the road, their playoff leverage skyrockets to 75%, whereas the Ravens would plummet to 21%. This means everything. Big Ben Roethlisberger on his podcast earlier this week, after what he watched against the Bills last week on their home turf, the Steelers allowed 249 rushing yards. And knowing what the Ravens do well and what part of their DNA is, Ben's not feeling too much. Well, I'll just say it. He feels nervous. That's exactly what he said this week.
Nervous is what we just saw this last week with Buffalo is the running game, and they have Derrick Henry.
Jeez.
They have Lamar Jackson who can run the ball. So is Pittsburgh going to go into this game and say, okay, that's not happening?
Yeah.
Lamar, beat us with your arm. We're going to put 9 guys in the box. We are going to make sure that you do not run for 100 yards, or I don't have to put a fake number on it, because if they run for 110 and you win, who cares? But go into this saying, no, Lamar has to beat us with his arm. It has to. That is our mindset. We are shutting down the run. And I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but in my opinion, that's what I would do. Is I'd say, hey, listen, we got to go. We got to try and do whatever we can to make this team as one-dimensional as possible, and make that one dimension beat us. And it's literally just taking Derrick Henry out of the game. Like, take the run game out, and just, if Lamar beats you with his arms and legs, then so be it.
Well, in an effort to stop the Ravens' run, it will be a tall task for the Steelers, who will be without, I should say, their talented rookie, as they have been for several games so far this season. Derek Harmon, their first-round pick, is out today with a knee. We learned that on Friday. He was a DNP all week. He's been banged up at times throughout his rookie season. Really talented run stuffer specialist, and a guy that clogs up space in that interior part, wherever they decide to have him, of Pittsburgh's defensive front. So big loss there. Derek, by the way, needs 69 yards for his 7th career 1,000-yard rushing season. Certainly a far cry from last year. He was on the 2K watch with Saquon Barkley. We know why things haven't exactly worked out in his favor this year, some of which has been on him, but most has been on the offensive line. And perhaps in some times, I don't believe Thanksgiving night was one of those, but in some cases as well, Todd Monken's play calling, I think, needs to be looked at as well. We know that Buffalo, without both of their starting tackles, just last week, embarrassed Pittsburgh's run defense. 249 rushing yards. That's what they put on them. At Acrisure. That's on their home turf. All right. And the reality is, when you go back and look at that game, it was a very similar formation. There was not anything unexpected or any form of trickery, really. The Steelers just got beat, and they got beat badly. We'll see how they come out today. As far as Pittsburgh's concerned, outside of Derek Harmon, no Kyle Duggar at the safety position. So do not be surprised if you see a former Raven out there getting after it, as he once did in Baltimore. Chuck Clark, a former day 3 safety, a day 3 pick, I should say, and a safety of the Ravens out of Virginia Tech. He will likely be playing some meaningful snaps today for the Steelers. And no Calvin Anderson, a backup offensive lineman. So that's what's going on there. Before I bring up the Ravens inactives, there was somewhat of an interesting tidbit on the Pittsburgh side of things. They're going with Adam Thielen today over Roman Wilson, one of their young wide receivers. So Adam was just released by Minnesota. The Ravens just saw Adam Thielen and J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings last month in Minnesota. And then the Steelers claimed him this week. Literally, Adam hasn't even been with the organization or in the building for a week. and now he is up today. Roman Wilson is down. So DK Metcalf, and gosh, they don't have a ton of pass catchers out there right now. DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin III. Again, Roman Wilson is down. Ben Skoranek will be a pass catcher for them at the wide receiver position. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was a practice squad call-up for them. Adam Thielen and Scotty Miller. It's not a group that particularly scares you. It's a group that's been struggling so much in recent weeks that the Steelers have not been a threat from a downfield passing attack. Some of that has to do with Aaron Rodgers and what he's dealing with right now. That left wrist, that non-throwing hand wrist, the fracture that he's been managing the pain and playing through. He's switching from a hard cast to a customer soft brace for more mobility and options to go under center. Tracy Wolfson, who's going to be the sideline reporter today for CBS, just caught up with them, caught up with Aaron pregame, presumably. He said this is the last week he will wear something, barring a setback. So Aaron is no doubt going to be compromised. This is a Steelers offense that hasn't scared anybody, and it's a Steelers defense that's been unrecognizable. Does any of that matter going into Ravens Steelers? Maybe not. Because typically, on an annual basis, you throw out the record, you throw out the statistical categories, you throw out what happened last week, and you let the game unfold the way that it will. And that we will. To the inactives we go. Appreciate you guys for being with me on this Sunday. It is week 14, and we are just over an hour out from kickoff in Baltimore. The 2000 Super Bowl winning team will be in attendance, and there's a lot to play for. There's no extra motivation necessary when you have the AFC North up for grabs, and I already had the playoff leverage slide up for you earlier. You know that this one means a lot for both teams and their respective aspirations for the 25-26 season. Ravens inactives. Cooper Rush will be the third quarterback, meaning the emergency third quarterback. That means Tyler Huntley will continue to back up the primary QB1, and that is Lamar Jackson, who, of course, we will discuss. He was stepped on this week by an anonymous player. He was asked point blank, of course, who it was, and Lamar laughed it off. I'm not telling you who it was. I know you have your theories out there. I know you do. We're never going to figure it out, at least not right now. And for Lamar, it's about managing the discomfort, managing what I'm sure has been a painful wear and tear type of season with him. 4 ailments, whether it's the hamstring back in September, then came the knee, then came the ankle, then came the toe, and just this past week, again, he was on the injury report with an ankle. He missed Thursday. He was back on Friday, and he is good to go today. Ben Cleveland is a healthy scratch. Joseph Noteboom is down. That means that Carson Vincent is up as the primary backup to Ronnie Stanley. Devontae Walker is down. He popped up this week on the injury report with a groin, so that's a bummer for him. And no Aeneas Peebles, he is down, meaning Josh Tupou, the practice squad game day call-up, he's up over the rookie, Fub Aeneas Peebles. So no real surprises there. It is a bummer for Tez, who, of course, had a couple plays that I'm sure he would want back last week against the Bengals. But these are your inactives going into week 14. And just to reiterate what I mentioned a minute ago, they've elevated safety Sanusi Kane, the day 3 pick, 7th rounder out of Purdue. He's been in and out of the organization in recent months. They released him, and then they picked him back up to their practice squad. And Josh Tupou, nose tackle, he is up. And again, that means Fub, Aeneas Peebles, has been in and out of the lineup for whatever reason. I don't know if they truly trust him at this point in his young career when it comes to defending the run. You saw him in some third down packages last week, if you remember, on Thanksgiving night, I should say, 10 days ago. But he is down today, and I think that says a lot about where they have him evaluation-wise when it comes to some of the run fits, some of what they ask of him, and how he's holding up within this defense early on in his career. More from Big Ben, who actually gives the Ravens the edge going into today.
So right now, you're like, hey, Ben, right now, give me your prediction, because I have us as a win in my preseason poll. I think both teams are equally hungry. Both teams need it. We know that. Whoever wins is a big deal. I think both teams are coming off of losses at home. So listen, here's what I'm doing. Here's my scale. It's sitting. It's you know what I'm saying. You've got an MVP caliber quarterback on both teams, staying right here. You have one who is banged up in Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so Baltimore gets that little advantage there. But he's been a little bit. But Lamar's been a little banged up too. Yeah, maybe not like a specific cast on arm, but a lower body, which is his kryptonite. Like that's his thing. We're back to even. I would say that my thing that would push us over the top. Now, they have Derrick Henry, gives them scale. I would say DK Metcalf. I think there's some stuff there. I think when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to the defense. And I would say that we have a better defense on paper. Sure. The way that our defense has performed has not been up to the paper. So therefore, I would think that they're going to play like they're going to. I feel like our defense bounces back pretty well when we've been embarrassed. Sure. Yeah. I think they could bounce back. So therefore, I give the Steelers tip the scale a little bit. That being said, playing in Baltimore, which I know we've been very successful in Baltimore, but playing on the road compared to at home is a lot different. The scale has now tipped to where it's like I'm like a 51% Baltimore. I mean, it can't get any closer, in my opinion. Yeah. But I think the home factor is different. And because right now, even being at home in Acrisure, in Pittsburgh, feels like it's not really home. Like the fans are not happy. Right. They're booing. They're chanting. They're booing Renegade. There's visitors, teams there. Baltimore's not. They're not doing that. Yeah. They're in this thing, and so I'm unfortunately my 51 is I'm moving it over. You hear me?
Big Ben giving the Ravens the edge. Do you give your team the edge going into this afternoon? Call in and share a thought as to why or why not that's the case. I have a guest link access line that's pinned right now in my live chat. The reality is Lamar is compromised. There are teams and players all across the league that are compromised right now because it's December and it's the war of attrition in one of the most brutally violent, difficult sports to play physically in the world. And as a result, Lamar's looked unrecognizable at times, not necessarily Thanksgiving night from a physical standpoint, but at times over the last month as he deals with multiple lower body ailments, he has looked unrecognizable. And this statistic right here is also unrecognizable. Lamar has not forced a single missed tackle on any of his 20 design runs this season. That's a next-gen stat look. He led all quarterbacks, as Siciliano notes here, with 104 over the first years of his career, meaning the first 7 years of his career. To me, it's pretty obvious. If somebody's asking me, has Lamar Jackson has he been slowed down? Has Lamar Jackson deteriorated? Has Lamar Jackson lost a step? To me, it's a pretty simple no. He is banged up. He is managing his way through pain. And obviously, the elephant in the room has been an offensive line that's taken a step back and regressed collectively. We can talk about the guard play. We can talk about the right tackle in his sophomore season. We can talk about Linderbaum in a contract year. We can talk about Ronnie, who he would be the last one to have a conversation on. But collectively, as a group, this has been an area of weakness and an area that you can bet, while he's not saying anything that's going to apply to the bulletin board material side of the game, TJ Watt knows that he's going to have himself some fun going up against this Ravens offensive line today.
Him and we're approaching him like he's the Lamar that we've known this whole time. I mean, the guy's dynamic. He's a dynamic runner next to him. He has dynamic playmakers. They have a really stout offensive line, so there's a lot of weapons. And he's playing really good football.
A really stout offensive line. I know you guys got a good kick out of that. TJ Watt earlier this week at one of his media scrums, we're approaching him like he's the Lamar that we've known this whole time. The guy's dynamic. He has a dynamic runner next to him. He has dynamic playmakers. They have a really stout offensive line. I got news for you. You take that curb stomping that was the wild card round between these two teams out of the equation. Outside of Kansas City, you can make a pretty valid argument that there is not another team league-wide who has played Lamar Jackson better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would also throw Cleveland in there as well. Lamar is 2-4 in the regular season against the Steelers, and 4 of his 10 lowest passer ratings as a starter, dating all the way back to 2018, has again come against these Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a familiarity there. There's obviously an understanding there. And there's a game planning aspect of it that Pittsburgh's played really disciplined football against Lamar over the years. And I suspect that he will have his fair share of struggles today. I think the run game will be limited. I do think that because it's Ravens Steelers, I do think that there will be a non-clean game played on both sides. But as I told Sarah in one of our prediction segments on Friday on the Vault, which team will play mistake-free in the fourth quarter? Which team will have a special teams unit that will make that impact play? Which special teams unit will be more consistent? Weather's not going to be an issue. It's football weather today in Baltimore, baby. Low 40s, limited wind, and sun in and out. That's a beautiful thing. It ain't Buffalo. There's a lot of great games going on today, by the way, that mean a lot as you look at the AFC playoff picture. You've got the Bengals and Bills in action at 1 o'clock. Tonight, you've got Chiefs, Texans in the Sunday Night Football primetime slot. A lot of people from an AFC North perspective are going to be watching this game closely. Ravens, Steelers. A lot of great games with big implications on playoff pictures, seeding, you name it, coming up. Now, you're looking right now at where these two teams rank category by category, phase by phase of the game, area by area through 14 weeks of football. I should say 13 because we're in 14 weeks. So through 12 games, 13 weeks of football, here is where the Ravens offense stacks up. They're the 20th ranked group overall. They're 5th in their rushing attack, 136.8 rushing yards per game. 28th in the passing game, 180.5 passing yards per meeting. Obviously, that's been an area where they've struggled mightily in recent weeks. I'm going to tell you where I think Lamar and company, led by Todd Monken's Lamar's execution, the offensive line's execution, Todd Monken's design, Todd Monken's strategizing. I do think that there's an area of Pittsburgh's defense that will treat them well today. They're 20th on third down. They're 17th on fourth down, and they're 30th. They're 30th in the red zone, a touchdown percentage of 46.5. So less than 50% of the time the Todd Monken's group gets inside the red zone, they're cashing in, meaning on touchdowns, not field goals, touchdowns. That's not good enough. The Steelers, and here is where I think the Ravens can make their hay today. Pittsburgh struggles over the middle third of the field from a defensive perspective. Okay, 22% of the time they are susceptible to explosive passing plays within those areas. Again, that's over the middle third of the field. So, heavy personnel when it comes to tight end usage, attack the middle of the field. Rashad Bateman in the slant game, attack the middle of the field. Zay Flowers, attack the middle of the field. It's got to be an area that they take advantage of to move the ball effectively, especially knowing that I think the Steelers will do whatever it takes to not get embarrassed and respond accordingly after allowing 249 rushing yards to be hung on them without the Bills starting tackles in just a week ago on their home turf. As far as Pittsburgh's offense goes, does not scare you. They do not stretch the field, and it's been weeks since they've actually attacked teams vertically, meaning had success attacking teams vertically. Over 70% of their passes land within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now think about that for a second, because even though that's dink and dunk and doesn't scare you from an explosiveness standpoint, there are still ways if you are not going to be fundamentally sound in your pursuit angles, in your tackle polish, so on and so forth, gap integrity assignments, there are still ways for you to be gashed with that kind of offensive attack. But again, I'll reiterate this again. Some of this has to do with the lack of weapons around Aaron. A lot of this has to do with his immobility right now. Over 70% of their passes land within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. They have got to be super disciplined at the line of scrimmage and in their respective assignments this afternoon. We're coming up on an hour countdown to kickoff. Not one of you, I'm calling every single one of you out right now. Not one of you had called in. The guest lines wide open, the waiting room wide open. And I got Mike bitching in the live chat, and yet he hasn't called in. What do you think? I'm letting you guys off the hook on game day? Call your ass in, Mike. Let's go. It's week 14. It's December football. Where the hell are you guys? You've been in hibernation now for weeks, and the viewership reflects it. Let's go. Oh, there's a link, all right, Pete. You're damn right there's a link. It's pinned right now in my live chat. Let's go, Pete. Get your shit together. Love you, Pete. And I love Preston Automotive Group for continuing to support the program. Guys, if you are a subscriber, you got a couple different things and offers, in this case, incentives that are out there for the taking. $500 towards a new or pre-owned vehicle is one of those. Or when you buy 4 tires, you'll receive 50% off your alignment at any Preston Automotive dealership all throughout the Maryland area. You do not need to be in Baltimore, in Maryland, to work with them, by the way. And as I scroll through my specific landing page, which is in the show notes below, you'll find areas that you can contact Preston pretty easily. You can toggle through their available inventory section to take a look at what they have. Over 3,841 right now, to be exact, over 3,000, but 3,841 available vehicles. And then from a location standpoint, for those of you that aren't directly in Baltimore City, you got Aberdeen, Maryland, home of the Ripken complex. You've got Denton. What about Dover, Delaware, for my Delaware hen people? Hurlock, Keller, Virginia, Millsboro, Delaware. That's a brand new dealership. Pittsville, Randallstown. That's my home dealership. I'm forgetting what highway it's on. Maybe some of you guys can help out. It's on the tip of my tongue. The Randallstown location is on. Oh, why can't I forget? Hold on a second here. I got to get this down. I leave Baltimore for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden I forget. Hold on a second. It's the Preston Ford West location. It's off of Liberty. How could I forget Liberty? Now, Liberty Road is really something else. Liberty Road. Thank you, Angela. Liberty Road is like Mario Kart out there. You got to watch your back. That's why I love driving around in my Preston truck. I got the Bronco, but when I service it, they give me the truck to go around and hang out in town or do whatever I got to do while they get the Bronco serviced. And so I just feel like I'm most safe on Liberty Road in my Chevy. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Thanks to Preston for the continued support. Preston Automotive Group on Instagram is where you can find more. You can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner if you'd like to learn more. And hopefully you'll go check them out. Well, looky here. Pete has found his way into the live chat. He's found his way into the waiting room. I called his ass out, and now he's here with me on game day. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's open them up. You see what I have right now as a poll in the live chat. Will the Ravens play mistake-free football? I'm not talking about across the board. I'm talking about from a clean game standpoint, meaning no turnovers, and follow up what was a disaster 10 days ago on Thanksgiving night, coughing it up 5 different times and giving Cincinnati every chance. Every chance. Mike, when of your ass is gonna call in? Huh? Pete's here with me. Happy game day, brother. Good to see you, man. What's going on, Pete? Pete, can you hear me?
All right. Nothing much. I'm just chilling.
I'm glad
No,
you
I
called in,
cannot.
man. Thank you for using the link. Man, he calls in and he's looking at me like, try again, Pete. Try again. Guest lines are open. Appreciate you guys for being with me today. There's one specific thing that I'm looking at in order to truly understand the 6-6 Steelers. You want to know how they've been able to win games and keep themselves relevant this year? Timely turnovers. And there's 6 wins so far this year. They are plus 15 in turnover differential in those games. Plus 15 over a 6-game span. They've won those 6 games by turning over the opponent. And their 6 losses, they go quiet on that front. And all their other deficiencies rear their ugly head. That turnover differential plummets to -6. It's clear today. The Ravens got to do what they do. And yes, effectively run the football, which I think will be a challenge based on the defensive strategy that I'm sure will be employed by Mike Tomlin and company. But you have got to protect the football. Pittsburgh is timely. They had 6 in one game earlier this season. 6 turnovers created in one game. The Ravens have been susceptible to that. Ball security's got to come at a premium. Pete, should we try it again? He's got his headphones on this time. I like it. Wes says, who makes the college football playoffs, Bobby? I watched that entire Alabama-Georgia game last night. Bama doesn't deserve to be in. Come on. In what world? In what world does Bama deserve to be in? Certainly not. By the way, Fernando Mendoza, I think, stole the night with a post-game interview that will be replayed, watched, dissected, and talked about for a long time. And Kurt Signetti is a world treasure. He's an absolute treasure. Unbelievable turnaround from the Indiana Hoosiers, upsetting Ohio State in last night's Big Ten championship. And then obviously the SEC was a total blowout. It just wasn't in any way a fun game to watch. Aaron Rodgers took some snaps under center from Zach Frazier in warmups, according to a Steelers reporter. He's still wearing a big cast on his left wrist, and this is going to be a part of the equation today. Make no mistake about it. Can the Ravens disrupt Aaron Rodgers early and often? He's going from a hard cast, according to Tracy Wolfson, to a customer soft brace for more mobility and the option to go under center. That doesn't mean he will, but at least he has the option. Wes is roll tide till he dies, but even he can't deny what we all watched yesterday. That was ugly football. And we already know the loss that they had on their resume in the opening month of the season, don't we? Yes, we do. Pete, shall we try it again? What's up, brother? Happy game day, man.
What's up?
Thanks for responding to my call out. I'm glad you came on. You know, you're lurking in the live chat. I'm just glad you came on, man. What's going on?
I couldn't find the link at first. I don't know. Then it appeared. So I wasn't wrong, but
You're good, dude. You're good. Talk to me about the game. What's on your mind today?
You know, Ravens always find a way to disappoint me in some sort of way. Do I expect clean football? No, I do not. But do I expect to have some grays at the age of 19 by this game? By the end of the game, probably a little bit, because they always stress me out.
19. Does that mean you're calling in from the college dorm right now?
Yes, I am actually. I'm sitting on the shared chair. There's always some mysterious stains on these things. I don't trust it, but I'm out of the room. So
I think we're all happy to revisit here real quickly our college days. So why don't you show us? Pan the camera over. What are we looking at here?
all right. So you've got, because I'm out in the common area, because like the roommate is in the dorm, whatever. You got the fridge and the sink and oven or whatever. And then someone stole the fucking trash can after break or whatever. There was a trash can. Now there's no trash can.
Amazing. Any chance to save $20, you take it and run in college.
But yeah, I'm just chilling around. It's a little cold, but it's fine.
But wait a second now. Aren't you going to show us the stains?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Come on,
right
we got to
here.
assess what it is that this mysterious stain is. Oh my God. Hold on. Zoom in on that. Oh, okay. Now at first glance, now hold it still for me. At first glance, that does look like the couch has just simply been ripped, does it not?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So I'm just not seeing it perfectly through the camera then. Okay, I think we
Yeah,
all know what that
maybe
is. Moving on. What school
yeah.
did you go to?
So it's on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So Salisbury, the one main college in Maryland on the Eastern Shore, Salisbury. I know people. There was a winter wonderland Friday here. It's like still 3 inches or like 2 inches, and it was gone within 2 hours. It was rather nice.
Nice. Yeah, and for those that don't know, Salisbury, I don't believe is D1 in lacrosse, but they're damn good, aren't
No, yeah, we got D3 football, pretty good lacrosse team. Yeah.
they? Nice, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling, Pete, and sit on the other side of the couch when you're watching the game today, all right?
Yeah. All right.
Later, brother. Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Does that not bring you guys back to Sundays in the dorm? You can just tell too, right? Based on the walls. And then he started panning the camera to the kitchen. Like that's just such standard collegiate living right there. And yeah, we may want to check back in on Pete. I think we could all kind of combine to maybe replace that couch. But then again, it is a collegiate couch, and that shit's going to be used over and over and over again by the next set of residents and the next set of residents. So sorry to put on my investigator hat there. I just went into uncle mode. I do the same thing for Will. I'm just looking out for Pete. And God, using the living room there after hours is quite a play. They must have roommates in those specific rooms. Anyway, why you maybe came is because of what I have in the why you came. Okay. We got to reset here. Why you popped on the show today, let's just go with that, is perhaps what you saw in the title of the YouTube episode, and that is the new favorable details from over the weekend that were released based on the contractual figures that we now know exist for Mark Andrews' extension that has him in Baltimore for the next couple of years. He, Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kohler, and Pat Ricard up until last week were all set to hit the free agent market coming up this offseason. They get out in front of Marks. And what I said earlier this week, I think really stands now. And that is, I think this is going to age really well. And I think that they're going to buy low. And within the next year or two, we're going to look at this deal as other tight end deals get done inevitably around Mark. And I think we're going to say to ourselves, you know what? This was a really good deal. This worked out in both parties' favor. Anyway, let's get into the specifics and why that might be the case. Mark agreed to terms on a 3-year, $39.3 million extension. It includes $26 million guaranteed. Okay. We all know how this all shook out. We now know what took place with Isaiah Likely, and we know moving forward that his future is very, very uncertain in Baltimore. What we now know is the figures, courtesy of Jason from Over the Cap. Okay. And here it is. Here it is all broken down by year, age, base salary, prorated bonus, meaning the sign-in and the option, the roster bonus, the workout bonus, guaranteed salary, cap number, and cap percentage. Okay. What I want you to focus in on is the cap hit in 2026, which is right south of $7 million. Okay. Then it goes to $14.7 million in 2027 and $16.7 million in 2028. Here's the key. And again, this is from @Jason_OTC, Over the Cap. He's got the whole breakdown on his Twitter. And what I'll do, I'll throw that link if you want to look at the actual post itself in the live chat, being that I only have the screenshot right here. Okay. Here's the most important part of the deal. The Ravens can cut ties without taking on huge dead money after 1 year, after 2 years. That's the biggest deal. And that's the new favorable part of this contract. So that if Mark, for some reason, goes off a cliff, I know the numbers in recent years have have suggested that he might be aging. He might be not creating as much separation. Speed's never been the name of his game, but perhaps could durability at some point come into question within the next year or two, if that's the case, and if the Ravens want to move on from their future Ring of Honor member, then it's not going to come at a huge cost. And that's why, one of the many reasons why I commend the front office for getting this done. They obviously prioritized Isaiah Likely over Mark Andrews this offseason. Isaiah decided, and his team decided to bet on themselves, go into the season as a pending free agent. Unfortunately, right before the year begins, he steps on Sanusi Kane's foot in a one-on-one battle for a football, has that foot fracture. The procedure obviously ensues. He misses the first month of the season. The game that he comes back, Lamar exits for several weeks. And now here we are in December, and Isaiah's overall resume from a 2025 statistical standpoint has been pedestrian, perhaps even below pedestrian for his standard. I think he's going to get paid, and get paid handsomely, by a tight end needy team somewhere out there across the league, regardless of whether or not that's a team that has the likes of a lucrative situation where their rookie quarterback is under that rookie deal where you can kind of spend and build around him. Wherever that ends up being, I think Isaiah will be paid. I'm sure in his mind, he's wondering whether or not he made the right decision to bet on himself. I wish him the best. I hope he comes on for this team over the closing 5 weeks. They need him. They need him in the red zone. They need his field stretching ability. They need number 80 out there playing at a high level, and that has not been the case throughout the course of his season to date where he's been available. Guest lines are now open. That is my Mark Andrews nugget for those of you that came for it. Sorry it took me. God, I got to stop using that. Dre Dog's in the building. I definitely can't talk like that. Jesus Christ. Sorry to use the Lord's name in vain. On a Sunday, no less. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. How about that instead? So that's the Mark Andrews side of things, which I think is great. Now to get back to game day. Let's see where our poll's at. I love a good poll. P-O-L-L, Dre, not P-O-L-E. Good God. Oh, I use his name in vain again. I'm on a real run today. Almost 200 votes have hit the poll here. Will the Ravens play mistake-free football? 55% of you say no. 45% of you say yes. Let me say this. For those of you who think no, they will not play mistake-free, meaning no turnovers, today against the Steelers. Do you think that they'll be able to overcome those turnovers, that mistake football, turnover-prone football? Will they be able to will they be able to overcome those setbacks and win the game? We've seen time and time again, Ravens-Steelers clashes have a whole lot of wonkiness to it. Not just mistakes, but special teams gaffes, fluky things that just somehow work their way in to Ravens-Steelers. Will they be able to overcome those? Coming up on 200 votes. Continue to weigh in if you could. Justin was first. Brother, welcome back to the program. What you got going on today for Ravens-Steelers? Justin Holtz.
What's up, Bobby? How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. My son's gonna come over here probably in a little bit. I got my 3 sons here and my wife and the puppy dog, so we're gonna watch the Ravens. And I don't know. I'm not super confident, man. You know, I love the Ravens, but I think whoever loses this game probably misses the playoffs. I think the wild card is not an option for anybody in the AFC North.
Dude, I think we need to continue to reiterate that. I had the playoff leverage numbers up earlier, and I'll throw it up again. Here it is, Aaron Schatz. This is all from an analytical standpoint, so take of it or from it of what you will. But with a win, Ravens playoff leverage skyrockets to 70%. Pittsburgh's plummets to 23%. With the Steelers win, they skyrocket to 75% playoff leverage. Ravens will go to 21%. They have put themselves in a position where the playoffs began week 14. This is a playoff game. And they only have themselves to blame due to the 1-5 start. And it happens to be a playoff game against a team that, yes, doesn't scare you on paper, but I'm sorry, there's a level of uncertainty. And let me just get this in here because it caught my I'm losing my train of thought. Stanley, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Fa'alele, and Rosengarten. Okay. It's the same combination starting 5 in pregame warmups, but I'm sure we'll see Emery on that rotation with Voorhees, just making sure we get that in there. Bottom line is they've put themselves in a position where, yes, this was a team that utterly dominated them, that they utterly dominated and destroyed and embarrassed in a lot of ways in the wild card round. But it's a new season, and you've now put yourself in do or die territory weeks before the postseason begins. I think they're going to find a way to get it done today. It's just a tough situation to be in, knowing how closely contested these games are ultimately decided by, and usually it comes down to inches.
All right, Bobby, man. It's good to hear from you, and peace to everybody in the chat, man. Take it easy, brother.
Well, what's your score prediction? I'm not letting you off the hook too easy here.
I don't know, man. 17-13, maybe. I don't
17-13?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. Okay. I don't know how you keep TJ Watt out of the backfield, man. Not with our guards. I mean, maybe double get Ricard to chip, but I don't know. He terrorizes us, and like I said, I don't know who's going to win. I hope the Ravens win, but I think it's going to be low scoring.
Okay, brother. Enjoy it, man.
Later.
Guest lines are open if you want to share a thought with me. He mentioned TJ Watt. Obviously, he's been a Ravens game record over the years. There's no question about that. TJ had this to say about the current state of Lamar Jackson physically.
Approaching him, and we're approaching him like he's the Lamar that we've known this whole time. I mean, the guy's dynamic runner next to him. He has dynamic playmakers. They have a really stout offensive line, so there's a lot of weapons. And he's playing really good football.
Stout offensive line. How about it? Dre Dog, is it a stout offensive line, my brother? Happy Sunday to you.
What's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Good to see you. Yep.
All right. Hell no, it ain't no stout offensive line. That's cap. That is cap. I get it. You want to have the sportsmanship type of mindset. So he's not going to come out and be like, they offensive line is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to come out and say that. But that's cap. We got one of the worst offensive lines in the league by all of the metrics. So today is going to be important to make sure I think Derrick Henry got to hit that, 4 yards per carry, 5 yards. Even if he only gets, 70 yards, 80 yards or something like that, he's got to hit on his runs. It has to be where he's every couple of runs that he's possibly getting us some crucial first downs. I think we're going to be limited on the amount of possessions that we get on offense. So I just hope that if we get down by 7 to 10 points, Todd Monken don't start shitting the bed. Like, he gets nervous. When we get down by 10 points, he immediately starts going, we got to pass the ball. So I hope Todd can stay patient. And I think Lamar's going to be okay. I think he looked healthier last game, even though Daniel Falele stepped on his foot again.
You're pushing that theory. I know you are, you and everybody else. Listen to Mike Tomlin back in January of this year after the wild card game. And then I'm going to give you a couple different metrics that really told the story of how the Ravens got it done that day and advancing to the divisional round. Listen to Mike Tomlin first and foremost, though.
Congratulations to the Ravens, man. They were the better group today. That was obvious. And really, the X factor was Lamar's unique talents. It seems like every time we got him behind the sticks, he made up for it, or we got him in a possession down circumstance. He extended and won those circumstances, and we never really found a fluid answer all day. Obviously, that was highlighted by our inability to convert third downs in the first half, and they wore us down a little bit. The fatigue component of it became a factor. And so, you can sum it all up to say that they were certainly the better group today.
And here's why, brother. Here's why, okay? It was mistake-free, first and foremost. No turnovers from the Ravens. On third down, they were efficient, 10 for 15. Time of possession, they did not give Russell Wilson a chance to possess the football in a winning formula. 39 minutes and 33 seconds is when the Ravens had it. 20 minutes and 27 seconds is what Pittsburgh had it. They were lowly they were not penalized. 3 for 14. And then, of course, as you heard there from Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh had no answer for Derrick Henry and company. 299 rushing yards on the ground. You didn't even need to pass the ball effectively, but Lamar did when he was asked to. 16 of 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked just 1 time and a quarterback rating of 132. It starts and ends with playing clean football. That sets everything else up. I don't know if they're going to be able to run effectively on Pittsburgh, but I think this is what you were getting at. If Derek can wear and tear and break one late, whether it be at the end of the half or at the end of regulation, that puts themselves and really puts the Steelers, they're back against the wall. That's the best part of Derrick Henry. You get him going north to south. Eventually, something's going to break. He's going to find that lane. He's going to find that hole, and he's going to take it. So those are a few thoughts as I look back to January.
Yeah, man, and it's going to be crucial. Unfortunately, we haven't been a good we've turned the ball over a lot this year. So I don't know what our turnover differential is, but I'm sure we're not on the good side of it. I think we definitely have turned the ball over more. I know we had like 6 turnovers in like 6 weeks or something like that, but it's going to be crucial to protect the ball. And it's sneaky. Jordan Stout has to have a good game today. He's got to pin because they're like you said earlier, the Steelers aren't getting the ball down the field like that, even with having DK. They're not getting the ball down the field like that. So Jordan Stout pinning them back when we have, because I don't think we're going to score a ton of points. I think it's going to be maybe a 21 to 14 game or something like that. But I think the Ravens win it. But I think Jordan Stout is going to be sneakily important today for us for field position wise.
Absolutely love that. By the way, Notre Dame just got snubbed. Everybody's reacting to it right now in the Twitter space. The CFP bracket has been released. So Notre Dame is on the outside looking in, and everybody is pissed off about it. So Miami is in. Notre Dame is out. Yeah, so for those of you that love college football, that's what's going on right now. Miami is in over Notre Dame. And why don't I just throw this up on the screen so we can kind of instantly react to it, because I haven't even had a chance to take a look at the full bracket itself. So here it is. Let's do this. Let's go big screen like this. Trey Dog getting some more FaceTime on a Sunday. Take a look at them. Okay. Let me see here. Of course, Alabama's in it. All right. Hold on. So we've got – okay, Indiana obviously is 1 after a ridiculous win last night. Ohio State is 2. Georgia is 3. Texas Tech is 4. Oregon's 5. Ole Miss is 6. I'm glad Ole Miss got in. That would have been totally bullshit had they punished Ole Miss for their head coach leaving. Texas A&M is 7. Oklahoma is 8. And Alabama is, of course, 9. Of course, they give Alabama the opportunity to be in based on brand and name. But anyway, for those of you that care, those are your CFP bracket. Dre Dog, do you follow college football?
I follow it a little bit more now that I'm down here. SEC is huge. So with the Gamecocks being here, like, even though they're not doing good, this whole city gets shut down when the Gamecocks play. So last week was a big what was the last week or the week before? We had Clemson in the Gamecocks play, so that's always huge. But I followed it a little bit more since, I thought they was going to be good this year. Everything, like, we started the year off ranked, and much like the Ravens, the Gamecocks offensive line is trash. So Jermaine Sellers is not able to do much of anything. I think he has crazy talent. I would love to see Jermaine Sellers back up Lamar Jackson. Like, that would be dope. But I think I think he might be able to get into that first round, the end of the first round, whenever he decides to come out. Not this year. If he come out this year, that's not happening. But
and by the way,
give him a couple years. Yeah.
The graphic that I had up there only had the first 9 seeds, and all this is coming in as we speak. So I've got it on in the background of my living room right now too. So anyway, this is the final 12-team bracket.
Okay.
So we left off with Alabama. They're going to face off with Oklahoma in the first round. That's a 9 versus 8. And then, of course, you get 4 teams get the bye, right? The first 4 seeds get the bye. So Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas Tech get your bye. So they'll meet the winner of the matchups that I'm talking about right now. Miami is 10. That's where we left off. So Alabama's the 9 seed. That means Miami's in at 10. They'll square off with Texas A&M as the 7 seed. It'll be Ole Miss and Tulane at let's see. Ole Miss is the 6, Tulane's the 11. That's another first-round matchup. I already mentioned Oklahoma and Alabama. And then how about JMU sneaking in at 12? I see a couple alums in the live chat right now. JMU at 12 will face off with Oregon at 5 in the first round. That is your CFP 12-team college football bracket. Can we expand this shit? Can we make this like, okay, you don't need 60 plus like college basketball, but can we continue to expand it, please?
I love it. I love the playoff. I love to see that these kids get an opportunity at, maybe getting to a bowl game they didn't expect to be, like the upsets can happen. So I'm excited. Like, I love the playoff format. And I think I wouldn't mind them expanding it. I think some people hate it. Like traditional college fans, old school college fans, for some reason, don't necessarily like this playoff format, but I like it.
Well, what I don't like, and I'm with you on that, Dre, for sure. But what I'm not with is this selection committee process. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Alabama doesn't drop one spot after what happened yesterday. Come on.
That's crazy.
Like, what are we doing
crazy.
here? That's an indictment against the system. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's a problem for me. That like it starts and ends there. After that, there's a lot of arguments to be made, right?
Yeah.
The flip of Miami and Notre Dame, that's going to have everybody in South Bend sick to their stomachs. I think that's probably more debatable than the Alabama one. The Alabama one is complete bullshit. But anyway, this has nothing to do with Ravens Steelers, and I just wanted to get it out there.
We went on a tangent. Hey, Bobby, if you want me to be your co-host, man, just say that. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do is just say it. Just say, Dre, I need you to call in, be the co-host. We do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you'd be pausing my ass all the time. That'd be bullshit.
Yo, what you just now said, pausing your ass all the time. Like, you can't talk like that, Bobby. What you doing, man? You
Dre,
can't say stuff like that.
That's why we can't have nice things around you at all. I'll catch up with you. Safe travels, brother. Enjoy the game today.
All right, y'all be safe.
Guest lines are open. We're about 20 minutes out from kickoff. And yes, you see the bracket right here. It's a 12-team final bracket for this year's college football playoff. Big thing for me is Alabama. Wes is not happy with me shitting on that is tied, but that's how I feel. Perhaps we'll get into that later on in the post-game show. But we do have more to talk about as it relates to Ravens Steelers. We're coming up on kickoff. Matthew is in the waiting room. What's going on, Matt? Guys, if you could on the way in, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership. Ingraven's play-by-play has just begun, so hopefully you'll hang out with me for a few more minutes and then go chill with him for in-game play-by-play broadcasting. Matthew, welcome to the program. It's good to see you again.
What's going on, Bobby? How you doing?
It's like that Matthew Stafford type thing. It's very formal, but then you look at him and, oh, hey. That's no Matthew. That's no slouch. What's going on? Happy game day.
Well, hooked it up. What's going on, man? Ravens. Got my pole right here. Bernard Pierce jersey on, ready to go, man.
Where are you calling in from today?
In California.
Oh, nice. So it's early. Yeah. Good morning to you then.
9:44.
9:44. About 20 minutes out from a game they got to have. Obviously, both teams got to have it. We know how clear the path is to win the AFC North in terms of your postseason berth. What's got you worried? What's got you confident? What's got you thinking about Ravens Steelers today?
The potential. What got me worried is coaching and execution.
Okay.
Those have to mirror each other for once. Sometimes execution can overcome bad coaching, and sometimes bad coaching. We need them both, man. I'm on the fence, to be honest with you. We can play a clean game against Pittsburgh. Nobody's really worried about Pittsburgh. But on the other hand, dude, Cincinnati's defense that was the worst defense in the league, and we couldn't do anything versus them. And Pittsburgh's defense is way better than Cincinnati's.
Yeah, I want to comment on that real quickly because you're right. The DVOA trend, if you've been following the Bengals defense, is projected or was projected within the last couple of weeks to be one of the worst units, if not the worst unit of all time since they started tracking those metrics. But in the 2 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, they were formidable. And obviously, because of turnovers, they were more than formidable on Thanksgiving night. So I don't know if I fully buy into that narrative about Cincinnati, even though it was more of a narrative because the numbers never lie. But I think we all know that the Ravens allowed the game to be dictated to Cincinnati's terms on Thursday night. And if you allow that to be the case today, you're not walking away victorious.
For once, I wish Harbaugh, let's see us outcoach somebody instead of Tomlin outcoaching Harbaugh. Dude, you got 18, 20 years experience too, and sometimes he looks like a rookie. I don't know if you're familiar with the game Red Dead Redemption 2, but he reminds me of Dutch with, we had a plan. Well, dude, counter to the plan. Yeah. Like, you want to run, like I say, he wants to outsmart everybody. We're supposed to run the ball, but he'll be the one to, well, they're expecting that, so let's pass. And it's just, dude, just do what you do. We have the horses. We have the pieces. We got the same coaching staff, same offensive players, damn near the same team from last year. We just get it done. It's not impossible to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We did it last year. Let's do it again. And their offense is worse than it. Oh, my God. Pittsburgh is just not good.
They split the regular season series last year, as you know. They then absolutely dominated them on their home turf, on the Ravens' home turf in the wild card round en route to the Bills in the divisional. One thing that I'm going to be looking for today is something that up until Thanksgiving night, they had not done in months leading up to the Chiefs, literally going back to the Chiefs game. And that was scoring a touchdown on the opening drive in scripted format, setting the tone for what's going to be a game. They have not been good in scripted format in opening drives this year. There's been a multitude of reasons as to why. You have got to start hot. This is a team that has had to play from behind a lot over the course of the last month or so. And if you look at this, over the last 4 games, the Ravens just 7.3 points per half, per first half, that is. Don't dig yourself a hole. If you give Pittsburgh an opportunity to think, even psychologically, that they're in this game, given how inept their offense has been, particularly with no vertical passing attack, that's just not a world you want to live in. And then all of a sudden, the fluky nature of AFC North football starts to work its way in. And then all of a sudden, it's a coin flip come for fourth quarter time. That's not a world you want to live in with the AFC North on the line.
You are 100% right. I've never seen nothing like it. But number 1 in the red zone last year, number 1 in yards per pass, number 1 in yards per run. And then, 12 months later, we're damn near last in all of those categories. It makes no sense. Yeah. And have the same, like I said, we got the same roster.
Same roster that I think every single one of us overvalued. Didn't we? Yes, we did.
Oh, man. Well, good luck to us today, man. Like I say, we should be able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Not that it's going to be easy or maybe by 3 or whatever, but dude, we got Lamar, we got the same roster. Pittsburgh is worse than they are last year. It's just, we just got to get it done, man. Feed Henry, regardless of what happens. Henry should have at minimum 25, 22 carries, period.
Brother, thank you for the call. Appreciate you. Enjoy it out there on that West Coast living. Oh, God, I'm always envious of the West Coasters, especially with primetime games. So you enjoy it, man.
22 degrees today.
Love it. See you, man. Thanks for the call. Manny, final word, baby. And it ain't Manny Diaz. It is Manny Mania down in Mexico as we approach the 15-minute countdown. Ravens, Steelers with everything on the line in Baltimore. Your final word, brother. Make it quick for me. Talk to me.
I had a lot of predictions, but
I'm sure you did. You love it. Remember the predictive game that Manny likes to play where you throw 5 out at the wall and see what sticks.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But anyways, what do I predict? I predict that Tomlin is going to be right in one thing. Harbaugh is going to collapse in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
It's up to Lamar and the rest of the team to actually pick up Harbaugh's slack. I mean, at this point, if you know that your coach that you cannot rely on your coaches in crucial situations, players have to take it into accountability. Like Suck said, Cecil said in an interview, it's like at some point the players have to take responsibility for the coach's slack. Like you got to take it up because you're on the field, not
Are you
them.
picking the Steelers today?
No, I'm picking the Ravens because of Lamar. If Lamar was injured,
you think Harbaugh's going to have a head scratching moment in the fourth quarter?
yes,
And they're still going to avenge it.
yes,
Okay.
because we have Lamar. That's the beauty of this thing is that Lamar gives you that confidence because has been Harbaugh mistakes in the past, and Lamar just Superman mode. Game that comes to mind: Indianapolis Colts. What was it? Harbaugh mistake here, there, and there. Even though we were decimated, but you knew your personnel. You knew how to adjust, and you still didn't adjust until it was fourth quarter Lamar. So, and I got my Lamar jersey on.
Oh, and Manny's already mentioned it. He sees you in all black, and he knows it's about to get real weird down in Mexico for this one.
Yep.
You already know it. Guys, 15 minutes out. Time to jump, brother. Give me a score and get your ass out of here, will you?
17-13.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yes. Because we have that defense, and I believe our offense is still not good enough. Okay. Like we have the playmakers, but that O-line doesn't give me that much confidence.
You heard the man. One prediction. Can you believe it? One prediction he gave it to us. Thank you, my man. Enjoy the game, guys. We're coming up on kickoff. Troy's got 23-16. I've got 24-18. Ravens, week 14. That's what's coming up. Join the Bobby Baltimore Discord server, guys. It's going to be very active on game day, as it always is. It's a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports. And there's over 1,000 members and counting. It is always busy. Busy on game day. If you'd like to join, I'll drop this into the live chat right now. It is free to join. Again, it is a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports. KBZ has 21-17 Ravens. Linda 24-6. Suleiman 24-7. Kieran 23-20. So on and so forth. Appreciate you guys as always. Post-game coverage on the Vault at 5 o'clock. That's Eastern Standard Time for my guy Matthew out in California. And I will be on, as always, for post-game of the post-game, probably around 8 or 9 o'clock during Sunday Night Football, which is a big one between the Chiefs and the Texans. Steve Loop, salute to you. Best wishes to Tyler. It could very well be a game that's decided by one score or less. And if that's the case, you already know special teams will be a major reason as to why whichever team comes out victorious ends up doing exactly that. Enjoy it, guys. Thanks to Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of this program. And thanks to all of you, most importantly, for continuing to show up. Enjoy the game. I'll be live tweeting, as I always do, from @BobbyBaltimore on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram, @BobbyBaltimore, all of which will have content in the coming days as we get ready for week 14 and everything else coming up in this closing 5-game stretch. Today is a playoff game. Make no mistake about it. Whichever team wins, sitting in the driver's seat to take the North and take a postseason berth into January. See you guys post-game.